Bryan Norman Jr., WBO email welterweight champion of the world. He has a fight coming up on Thursday, the 19th of June, over there in Japan, where his opponent, who is the number one contender, mandatory, Sasaki, is from. Bryan Norman Jr. is promoted by Top Rank, even though you wouldn't know, because Top Rank have not put him on any main event of their shows. And when it's time for him to have a title defense of this email belt that he's received, due to the fact that he was the number one contender when Terence Crawford vacated all his belts and moved up, so it landed in his lap via email, the first title defense that he has, Top Rank are not promoting it. They will get their cut because they are giving their fighter to the Japanese promotional company that promotes Jin Sasaki, who are putting on the fight in Japan, but they are not promoting the fight themselves. This for me says that Top Rank do not really believe in Bryan Norman Jr. So when he was going to get this meal ticket from Eddie Hearn to fight Jaron Boots Ennis in Philadelphia, in the country where Bryan Norman's from. Okay, he's not from Philadelphia, but he is from America. He's actually from Georgia, and he couldn't go to Philly to get the biggest payday of his career for a unification fight with Ennis in his hometown. And these hometown fights, a lot of the time they deliver upsets for the hometown fighter. But Bryan Norman Jr. didn't look at it like that. He looked at it like, yo, we gonna be in Philly. He gonna get the support. We under his promotional company. It ain't gonna go in my favor. My American accent needs to be worked on. I need to go to America for a little while so I can grab some of that American accent. But that's the limit of it right now. I ain't gonna get my just dessert, so I'm probably gonna have to nail him to the floor just to get a draw. Probably was the mindset of him and his team. When he was being offered life-changing money that he'd never seen before as a prize, he wanted more than that. He said, no. Listen, I need retirement money for this, yeah? That $2 million, I need 5, okay? I'm wondering if Jin Sasaki's people are giving him 5, because not only is he not fighting in his hometown still, and not only is he fighting in the opponent's hometown like it would have been Boots' hometown, he's actually flying out of the country and gone to Japan because his promotional company will not promote him and bring the fighter to him. He has to now go to the fighter because it's his mandatory, so he has to have the fight. And Top Rank was saying, we're not going to promote this fight. It's dead. You ain't no name. You ain't going to bring no money to us. But that, you better go and hope them man they promote it, which they have done, and they're obviously paying him. I'm wondering if he's going to get that 5-6 million that he wanted from Eddie Hearn. But that's neither here nor there. He's having the fight. Hopefully this is not a banana skin for him. To be fair, I have no dog in the fight. I don't care who wins or loses. And maybe this is the time for this man to make a name for himself. Because Jin Sasaki, I have no clue about him. I don't know who he's fought. He has a loss and a draw. I don't know who he's beaten. I don't know who he's lost to. I have no clue. I've looked down his resume and I can't see any name there that makes me say, okay, that was a fight you had and beat him. Okay, oh, you lost to this guy. Okay, oh, you drew with that guy. Okay, no, I don't know any of these opponents on his resume. So therefore, he's an unknown entity. This doesn't mean that he's not good. This is what people need to understand. This does not mean he's not good. This just means he's an unknown entity. Now, Bryan Norman, I'm expecting him to go over there and piece this guy up and come out of there victorious. But that's just an assumption I have because I've seen Bryan Norman fight and I haven't seen Jin Sasaki fight. This is a stumbling block sometimes because the unknown entity could be better than we think and better than we assume. In terms of myself, that's what I'm going to say. So it's very intriguing. It's going down on a Thursday. I don't know if in Japan, Thursday night boxing is a thing, but it's definitely not going to be prime time in any of the countries that care anything about what Bryan Norman does, i.e. America or maybe probably the UK. It's not prime time in these parts of the world. It's prime time in Japan, I'm thinking, because they're having it on a Thursday. And this is a title fight. This is not just any run-of-the-mill fight. This is for the WBO welterweight title. So if Jin Sasaki wins this, he's going to become an instant star, an instant great, big, fantastic name in Japan, because that's how Japanese do. They support their fighters. Straight like that. As soon as one becomes a champion, or as soon as one is on the road to becoming a champion, the support just generates, and they, as a country, all just jump in and support their fighter. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm very intrigued. I want to know what happens. I want to see who wins. But it's an intriguing fight. I don't even know how Jin Sasaki fights. I don't know if he's a pure boxer. I don't know if he's a pressure fighter or a boxer puncher. I have no clue. Bryan Norman, however, is a boxer puncher. So he has a very technical look about him and delivers a lot of shots. So we'll see how this works out. I'm very much looking forward to this. Bryan Norman is 27 wins with no losses and no draws. 21 wins by KO. Jin Sasaki has 19 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 17 of his 19 wins coming by knockout. So he has an 89% knockout ratio, and Bryan Norman has a 78% knockout ratio. So this should be a barnstormer. This, by how the resumes read, should be an exciting watch. So good luck to both combatants. As I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't particularly care who wins, loses, or draws, but we'll talk about the result and what comes after for whoever wins after the fight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to predict a Bryan Norman win. I'm going to predict Bryan Norman to win by stoppage because it's going to be fan-friendly and it's going to be all action. And I'm going to predict Bryan Norman to win by stoppage. Don't know, probably late, I don't know. Not sure. This is just a prediction based on what I've seen from Bryan Norman. Nothing to do from what I've seen from Jin Sasaki, because I haven't seen anything from Jin Sasaki. I can't lie. So I'm just basing this on my perceived notion of how I see these fighters fighting, which I've never seen Jin Sasaki fight. So I can only go with Bryan Norman at this present moment. Bryan Norman to win by knockout. Knock him out, Bryan Norman. Get back to the USA and get yourself back on this trail to become undisputed at welterweight. Why not? You know, make a name for yourself in your country. Because as for now, everyone sees you as a bit of a punk for not taking the unification fight with Boots. But we'll talk about that in another video. For now, I'll see you guys in the next video.